They call themselves financial advisors, but the title does not mean anything. I'm Casey Marks, founder of Crown Haven, Bull Baron, Pinecone. I've spent 60,000 hours with real families, exposing the rot that hides behind the title financial advisors. I've built the technology that is used nationwide to train and audit these advisors. And I've seen how easy it is to look credible through media, through marketing, through the cottage industry that props these folks up, and how few people actually are legitimate. This isn't theory, this is my lived truth. Subscribe, share, and follow me at Real KCA Marks on X. And Inheritance lands June 2026, my upcoming book. We are blowing the lid off of big finance. So let's talk about one of the biggest myths in the financial industry and why it's costing families their trust, their peace, and sometimes, unfortunately, their entire future. The biggest myth in this business is that the title means something, because it doesn't. Just like the worst medical student still gets to be called doctor, anyone can call themselves financial advisor, especially these days. No standard, no filter, just a title and a website. To the public, they all look the same. Clean logo, polished headshot, buzzwords about trust and integrity. But behind the curtain, the competence gap is the size of the Grand Canyon. And unless you know what to look for, you have no idea who's sitting across the table or what game they are playing with you. Let's talk about the factory of authority making. The illusion of credibility has been industrialized. There is an entire cottage industry designed to manufacture authority for salespeople. Podcast booking agencies, ghostwriters, PR consultants, paid top advisory firm awards, paid top advisor awards, article placement firms, magazine features that are really invoices. How do I know this? I get offered this daily. It's a factory of credibility without accountability. You think you're hiring wisdom, you're hiring a brand with a script. And that's where the perception trap really hits you. Most people assume the most visible advisors, the ones with the books, the billboards, the media features, must be the best. They're not. They're the best at sales, and they have somebody paying for them to be placed somewhere, or they're doing it themselves to increase their sales even more. The media, they don't verify these folks' results. They don't go, here's how well this person performed for their client base last year. They verify whether or not that person paid them to be on the air. If you can afford the placement, you can buy the title. It's why you'll see the top 100 advisory firm plaque in someone's office or on their website. And 80% of those are purchased marketing assets. Meanwhile, real fiduciaries, the ones building the actual plans, are in the trenches. Like the rest of my team right now, while I'm doing a video trying to expose the truth. They're not in a green room. I've got an iPhone propped up in my office. The real divide in finance isn't rich versus poor. That's a media narrative. It's access versus illusion. Because what the wealthy do get is they get research teams, data pipelines, PhDs managing risk in real time. The rest of the folks get different versions of a sales script and a pie chart. I won't mention the names of these firms, but you know their names. And one level is passive investing with a fee attached to it. That's you getting a whole bunch of mutual funds that each have their individual expense ratio, and your advisor is charging you 1.35%. And you know what? You could do the same thing if you went down to another firm and just bought those same index funds. The next level is somebody saying, graduate to me. And guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna buy the same holdings that the mutual funds already hold. But when you look at your account, you're gonna see individual equities. So you're gonna think they're managing it. That's called closet indexing. And their whole sales pitch is, we're a fiduciary. And all you're really getting is the reduced mutual fund expense ratio, but you're still paying 1.25%. Meanwhile, what the wealthy get is institutional level money management at a lower cost by a fiduciary, multidisciplinary team of experts. Funny how that works. 99.9% of you watching this video have an advisor that has never worked in institutional finance, has no idea how to calculate a risk-adjusted return, has no understanding of taxation beyond, let's call the CPA, has licenses or appointments issued by marketing groups, not regulators, and incentives that reward forward progress of either new assets coming through the door or new contracts issued, not management of client assets. They are not advisors, they are product reps with nicer fonts. And the damage isn't just financial. The real damage isn't to the portfolios, it's to the frickin' people. When things go wrong, I've found this to be so stunning. When things don't go wrong, clients don't blame the advisor, they blame themselves. They question their judgment. The doubt eats at them. It corrodes confidence. It kills trust. That's what happened to my mother. She blamed herself. It's still happening to families who believe the title means protection. Here's the fraud that changed me forever. I want to tell you about a man that I'm going to call Brian. He came into my office holding 5 annuity statements. 5. Now, what was interesting about this was that they were all the same product, sold at different times. They all had 14-year surrender charge schedules, and they were all opened under someone else's LLC. This is a blue-collar worker. $500,000 of this man's life savings, everything he'd ever saved, transferred to an advisor who then overstated the return potential. He said, you're going to get 14%. Instead, the money was funneled into the advisor's own corporate account, and $200,000 of that vanished. Personal use. The man had to stake out the advisor's office to get the rest of his money back. And when he got his money back, the check was written to him from the advisor's general agency LLC. It was fraud. Blatant. And I knew the person who did it. Not personally, but I knew of him. He'd come out of nowhere a few years earlier. Primetime TV spots, interviewing all the local college basketball coaches, lavish office space in the nicest place of town. Everywhere at once, just blasting media, radio, TV, online. I'm the man. But I knew his production numbers. I own Pinecone, remember? I get to audit these people. I know what he was doing. And his production numbers and the revenue that he was generating did not add up to the marketing spend. So I started looking deeper. Several unreported charges, convictions, no securities license, a trail of illusion built on sponsorships and marketing, not substance. I called my attorney group, my personal business attorney group. And I said, I feel a moral obligation. And he said, don't say a frickin' word. You're gonna be in years of depositions. Turns out I didn't have to say anything because like 2 weeks later, justice caught up to this person on its own. That advisor was later charged with multiple counts of fraud. But when I think about this, it's like I was losing sleep over this because I'm one of the few that got into this industry for the right reasons. When I think about this, it's like the charges aren't enough. The damage was already done, both to this person's financial future, but also to him as a human being. He couldn't trust anybody, even if he wanted to. The trauma was too severe. Even when I proved that I could get him out of the mess he was in, he couldn't bring himself to move forward. And we had several candid discussions about it where he said, I understand the logic. I believe you to be a person of integrity. And quite frankly, I spent 7 to 10 hours with this man out of empathy, but he never worked with us. And I don't know if he's ever recovered, because once trust burns, and this is in any relationship, it does not grow back the same. And for everybody like him, 1,000 others lose faith in any honest person in this industry, still fighting to restore that faith. Here's the lesson from this one. Fraud doesn't just steal money, it poisons the very belief in humanity. It makes good people impossible to help. It makes integrity almost a liability in an industry that rewards marketing and noise. That man wasn't just stealing money from his clients, he was stealing from the credibility of everyone who does this the right way. Write this down. Ask your advisor if they're a fiduciary. Get it in writing, 24/7, not when it's convenient to them. Ask how many households they personally serve, and if it's over 300, that's not service, that's volume. Actually, if it's over 100, that's a big problem. Ask who pays them. Do you pay them? Or does the company they're representing pay them? Do they get paid a salary? Do they get paid a performance fee? Are they connected to your success? How personally vested are they? Search their licenses on FINRA's broker check or on the SEC Advisor Info site. Google the phrase "as seen in Forbes" plus paid feature and watch what pops up. Ask if their process covers taxes, income, healthcare, estate, and insurance, or just investments. If any of these people get defensive or mad at you, run. This isn't just about fraud. It's about how easy it is to fake credibility and how hard it is to rebuild trust once that trust has been broken. If you've ever wondered who's really managing your money, it's time to find out. Subscribe, Share this video. If it's not you, you know somebody in your life that needs to hear this. For everything that I'm unable to say in these videos, you can read about it in Inheritance, Blowing the Lid Off of Big Finance, coming out June 2026. And in the next episode, I'm going to tell you the cost of blind trust and show you how to avoid it.